Hello Doctor Who fans and welcome back. I hope you had a lovely Christmas and I hope New Year is going to be just as good for you. Today I am back after a Christmas break. I am back with my Doctor Who reviews and I am going to be reviewing the 13th Doctor Who story starring William Hartnell, The Web Planet. So, the basic plot of this story is as follows. On the planet Vortis, the Doctor, Ian, Barbara and Vicky are swept up in the struggles of the butterfly-like Menoptera. Sorry, I can't say that properly. Who are the original denizens of Vortis, who were forced to flee the planet for the moon Pictos to escape the enroaching web of the Animus and its mind-controlled minions, the ant-like Zabia, and their living weapons, the larvae guns. So that's pretty much what you've got going on in this story. So, the Web Planet. Now, this is a interesting story. I think that this story is decent. Yeah, it's decent. I don't think it's a classic, but I think it's one of the best looking classic stories. But the actual story itself doesn't really stick out much to me. But I think it's quite a good story. I was very intrigued by it, and I liked the the whole idea of the mind control and the Zabia. I think first of all, the story has very good ideas, as I said, with the mind control. The first part in particular really hooked me with the fact that they mind controlled Barbara, and also the TARDIS was kind of driven into the underground, which is interesting. And yeah. But the actual story itself, I don't think it's perfect. But let's start with the good things. So the good things are, William Hartnell is great in this story. He's really good. He's very funny. I mean, the way he's all giddy, like that made me laugh. And when he's talking to the voice of the Animus, I thought that was very good. And the woman that does the voice actress who voiced the Animus did a great job. It sounds very creepy and slightly erotic, if you think about it. But the conversations they have are very good and are very intense, and you're kind of just waiting for them to reveal who or what is behind this voice, which is interesting. All the other characters have their parts to play. Ian is great in this story. William Russell, yeah, sorry, I don't forget his name. William Russell is great, and he goes off on his own for a bit, and he has his own little part in the story. Barbara's good as well. Jacqueline Hill does a great job, and also Maureen O'Brien as Vicky. She gets an equal amount to do. I like the fact that she's now sort of become a part of the group. She really does feel integrated with the group. So that's good, and she actually befriends one of the Zabia who they managed to turn over to the good side, which is nice. She does call it something, but I can't remember the name of it. Zorro or Zono or Zombo or something like that. It's that she calls it something like that. It's quite cute actually. The story is very intense. It's quite intriguing. But I have to say, I like the first half, but I don't really like the second half. I feel like there's a major issue with the pacing. The second half of the story is boring. I'm sorry, and that's often, you don't often get that in Doctor Who stories where the story starts out very good and then doesn't fall flat. It kind of a similar situation to the Sensorites, where the first part of that wasn't too bad, but then the rest of it was crap. But this, it's like half and half. It's 50-50 scenario. So like, I liked the first half. It was intriguing. It was a great setup. It was a good build up, and I was very interested. But by the time we came to the fourth part, the story really did start to drag for me. Although the ending of part 4 was good, and they had this sort of big fight, that was good. And what are their names? The Menoptera, the butterfly people, to call them that. They were interesting. They certainly look great for the time, but I just find them a little annoying. The way they're like, oh, they're all like airy fairy. They always move kind of like this, and they kind of talk a little bit like this. We go down to the crater of needles. It's very hard to speak like a normal human being. You see, like, that's the way they talk, and sometimes it can get slightly annoying. It's a little over the top. They could have toned it down a bit. They really could have. I know they're meant to appear as aliens, and obviously you can tell that there's people dressed in costumes, but it's a bit much. Sometimes it really got on my nerves. However, the Zarbia look great. Those big ants, the sort of big giant ants, they look really cool. And the noises, the sound work for this story is really good. You hear like the you have all like the siren-y sounds and the like. I can't replicate the sounds, but if you watch the story, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of why can't I talk? There is a lot of great sound work in this story. There's even a couple of good music moments as well. And I think the production values are excellent in this story. This story looks fantastic from a technical standpoint. This is amazing. They really went all out with the budget they had for this. I mean, this is quite a long story. It's 6 parts, and you really do feel like they spent a lot of time and money on this. But I think the script needed a bit of work. Whilst I think the story's intriguing, it's the biggest problem with this story is that it's way too slow. It's way too long. I think this should have been 4 or even 5 parts. Like, they should have cut out at least 1 part, because I felt like part 5 nothing really happened, so they could have cut that one out. Just had the story as 5 parts, no more than 5 parts, because it was already starting to feel quite long. It's a shame, and I did find the ending anticlimactic. I'm sorry. When they have to go into the control room, and when they come across the Animus, which is this big kind of brain squid thing, and then it's like trying to control the Doctor and Vicky, and then Barbara comes in and places the thing down, and it's like, oh, is that it? Really? Oh, come on, guys. We watched through 5 episodes to build up to this, and all you had to do was go boop, place the thing down. That was it. So I wasn't quite satisfied with the ending, with the climax. It was a bit anticlimactic, but the second half of the story really let it down for me. But that first half of the story is still good, and it is still intriguing, and there is still some tension in there. This isn't a story I would necessarily rush back to, but it's not one that I would shy away from. It's certainly very well done in its own right, but as I said, it's the pacing and it's the length. It is too long. I can't lie to you. This story is way too long, and it should have been, I think, 4 parts or even 5. But the performances are great, and it is a well-directed story. I think that, like I said, the production values definitely show. The effort and time definitely does show in this story, so I won't knock it. And it is better than The Rescue because it's a bit longer and it has more of a chance to tell a story. Whereas The Rescue was very short. That was just to introduce Vicky, but it's not quite as good as The Romans, which is a slight shame. So I'm gonna have to rate The Web Planet a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's good, it's decent, but I wouldn't say it's anything more than that. So, that's pretty much my review of The Web Planet. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. I'd love to compare our opinions and contrast. If you disagree, that's fine. We'll agree to disagree. Just don't be a dick about it. And, you know, if I disagree with you, fair enough. It's opinions are opinions. And if any of you are about to ask, I did not watch the Christmas special. No, I did watch the scene, Capaldi's last scene. I will review all 12 Doctors eventually, but at this current moment in time, my interest in the new series has really gone like kaput. I was tempted to watch the special, but I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just watch the scene, because that's all I was kind of interested in seeing. Obviously, because this is the first time when the Doctor changes from a man into a woman. It's a direction in the show which I don't support, although I have nothing against Jodie Whittaker. You know, it's not her fault. I don't have anything against her, and I wish her the best of luck. She's going to have a lot of fun in this part. It's a great part to play, and it's a great show to be involved in, but I just feel like it's one change too far for the show. And I feel like the writing really isn't doing any good. So if the writing doesn't improve, then that's it. The show's fucked. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're for it, great. If you're into a female Doctor, that's fine. You know, I hope you have fun with the show. But for me, I'm done. For me, Doctor Who will end with this Christmas special. I think it's called Twice Upon a Year or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But I'll get to it eventually. Eventually, probably in about 3 or 4 years, I will review it. And that will be my final Doctor Who review. But yeah, I did see the scene, and I wasn't particularly happy with it. Not because of the sex change, but because of the way it was written. I mean, Capaldi tried his best to perform it well. The speech was rushed. It wasn't very fitting. And then they tried to rip off David Tennant's regeneration with the TARDIS exploding at the end, and then the Doctor ends up getting thrown out of the TARDIS at the end, which just seemed a bit too, like, ugh, why? But anyway, that's another story for another day. So, thank you guys for watching my review, and stay tuned for my next Doctor Who review, The Crusade. Until then, thank you all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS 11. See ya.